Okay. All right. So we're missing some of my arms up here, but you know what? We're going to be all right. From your seat, y'all scoot towards the edge of it. Woo. Till those sits bones sort of catch on the edge of the seat. You feel that firm, strong pressure down underneath each butt cheek. And then maybe you rock back and forth on the feet and then settle them on down into the earth, feeling the full pad of your foot make contact. And then today's practice is all about Brahmacharya. It is our fourth yama, and the yama is the first of 8 limbs of yoga. And we can talk more about it after class or definitely this afternoon on TikTok. But Brahmacharya directly translated into English means restraint. And oftentimes, historically, yogis will tell you that this is restraint sexually. And I think that that is such a very small, closed idea of what the practice of Brahmacharya is asking from us. So Brahma means it means the ultimate reality, or it means like the great spirit, or you know what I mean, like the ultimate being. And then charya means practice. So Brahmacharya is practicing as the ultimate being. And when you look through the concepts of yoga, what we learn is that this restraint isn't sexual. It's not asking us to become celibate. Brahmacharya asks us to hold restraint for that first desire, that first reaction that comes up, because that's not you. When you react to something in life, that is trained. That is like Pavlov's dogs, right? It's happened again and again in your life, and your reaction is what it is. So when someone cuts you off, your reaction might be anger and yelling. When you're scared or hurt, my reaction is often anger and yelling to protect myself, right? When we don't want to say no and we choose to people please instead of guard, our energy and our needs. These are ways that we are not practicing Brahmacharya. And so Brahmacharya comes in and it says, pause. Just pause before you react. Touch for a moment in with the ultimate reality inside you and ask yourself, are you mad about being cut off? Or are you embarrassed and scared? If you cut someone else off, do you want to scream and yell at your kids, or are you overwhelmed and you need some space? These are the things that Brahmacharya asks us. So I'm going to stop with my speech. I'm going to get us in touch with our bodies. But as we move through our physical practice today, I want you to ask yourself and really ask your body when it's asking for more and when it's asking for less. And Brahmacharya asks us to honor that, right? Honor not the reaction, not our ego, but the truth of what we're actually needing in the moment. All right, speech over. When you're ready, we're going to find prana mudra. Prana mudra looks like you make your big peace signs. Then we're going to stick our fingers together, and that's it. Your thumb touches the tips of your pinky and your ring finger. Here is prana mudra, and it's done palm up. And I'm just going to rest my palms atop my thighs. And it's all right if your arms roll inward. Keeping this prana mudra. Prana in Sanskrit means energy. It's also known as breath. Pranayama is one of the 8 limbs. So you might close your eyes, breathe deep into the belly through the nose if that feels good. Exhale out the mouth. Let the shoulders drop as you do. And then another deep breath into the belly. Continuing this cycle, exhaling through the mouth. Shoulders melt. Inhale, fill the belly deep. And follow with your mind's eye the path of your breath. On your next inhale, feel the breath flow in through the nose, down into the throat and belly. As you exhale through the mouth, feel the warmth of your breath escape as the shoulders and belly soften. The bigger and wider your mouth on the exhale, the more intense energy you release from the body. moving that stuck energy through us. That's what this prana mudra does. It allows us to receive and release energy from the body as we need it. Maybe you don't need that intense release out the mouth, and so you simply exhale softly through the nose. But you decide as you continue to breathe into the body. Beautiful. A few more breaths just like this. The cool air rushes in, the warm breath leaving the body. Beautiful. Let's find some neck circles. So imagining there's a pencil sticking out the top of your head. We're going to draw little circles with the crown of your head on the ceiling. I'm going to let them start small, like the size of a juicy, crunchy apple. You might notice the sounds you hear in your ears as you draw these little circles. You might notice the gentle weight of your head shifting round and round. This small, subtle movement brings so much sensation if we're willing to drop our mind in and pay attention. Let those circles grow at your own pace, each one bigger than the last. We're going to keep the length through our spine, and on your next inhale, press to the top of the head as you draw these big circles, maybe as big as your neck will allow. Breathe deep into the belly as you do this. We tend to shallow or hold our breath as we concentrate. Wherever you are, roll your head and neck to a gentle stop, and let's switch directions. Big, bold circles. Each inhale, pressing length through the spine. Each exhale melts those shoulders. And then let's shrink those circles. Each one a little smaller than the one before it. Letting it be imperfect and messy, until we're drawing these circles so small that the head floats in stillness above the shoulders. From here, you might release that prana mudra if you haven't yet. And then let's move and open our shoulders up. So on an inhale, press the shoulders forward, squeeze them forward, and roll them up towards the ears. On an exhale of your choice, squeeze them back and roll them down. So we move with our breath. Inhale, squeeze up. Exhale, back and down. Big circles, getting your chest involved. Really noticing how big your shoulder sockets, your shoulder blades can draw these circles. Let the hands float freely as you do. And then pause wherever you are and switch directions, moving with the breath. This time, inhaling as you squeeze back and roll up, exhaling forward and down. A few more times. This warms up not only the arms and the shoulders, but the core, the mid-back, all these places we hold tension, repetitive tension that permanently change the way our bodies feel and move. And so we spend this time intentionally releasing that tension. On an exhale, let those shoulders drop. Beautiful. On your next inhale, you might sweep the arms out by your side or up in front, whichever feels best. Exhale, palms towards the heart center in Anjali Mudra. Let's do 3 more of these, really pressing through those fingertips. How far can you press? How long can your arms grow here? Wonderful. All right. We're going to move into our warm-up of sun salutations, just seated and gentle, and then we'll move from that sun salutation into a high lunge warrior 2 flow. All right, all sorts of goodness happening. I'm going to grab my blocks because seated sun salutations ask a fold from us, and blocks can be a wonderful boon to that practice. Your first job is to find Tadasana. Now, Tadasana seated is traditionally done with feet about hip distance apart, but I'm going to ask you to make enough room for your tum-tum and your chest. And so like me, I want to fit my tummy between my thighs as I fold because the heart and the belly surrender equally. Otherwise, you're rounding the low back as you fold, and we don't want that. That's a cat-cow posture. So from here, knees and thighs as wide as you would like them. On a breath in, find that length through the top of your head, just like you were earlier. Exhale, we're going to surrender the belly and the heart, and you might tuck the belly as you lower. You might keep your arms atop your thighs to support your core. You might bring them down to blocks. You might let them hang. Do what you want to do. But sink into this fold, and to sink into it, I might widen my knees to accept my belly a little more deeply and then close them back up. Focusing on that heart center, melting down towards the earth. And then if you haven't yet, and if you're interested in it, let the top of the head hang heavy towards the earth. If the low back is talking to you, engage the legs and press gently through the pads of your feet. Your legs can help support the muscles of your low back in this stretch. Another breath or two here. And then on an inhale, press up into flat back. Flat back just looks like pressing down through your tailbone and straight out the top of your head so that your spine is in alignment-ish, right? You might press down into blocks. You might press on your shins, activating through the pads of your feet here. Pressing strong through the legs, breathe into the belly, and then on your next exhale, surrender back down into your fold. Let the belly soften towards the earth along with the heart. And then once more, pressing through the pads of the feet, engage the legs, and on an inhale, we're going to sweep the arms out and rise up or walk our hands up our body. Beautiful. There's our first part of our sun salutation. Let's put it with the breath. So on an inhale, sweep the arms out or up in front. Exhale, find the fold of your choice. Inhale, rise to your flat back, pressing through the crown of the head. Exhale, surrender. On an inhale of your choice, press to the pads of the feet, sweep up tall. Exhale, palms towards the heart center in Samastiti. This is a surrendering posture. So from here, let's add things like our cobra, our chaturangas, and our downward facing dogs, which is all part of our sun salutations. So finding Tadasana, feeling firm in the pads of the feet. Maybe you scoot towards the edge of your seat again. Maybe you feel solid. On an inhale of your choice, sweep the arms up. Exhale, find your fold and move at your own pace. Maybe you breathe a little more swiftly, a little slowly. On an inhale, rise up to flat back. On an exhale, fold back down. Inhale, press through the feet, rise up using the power of your legs. And then exhale, we're going to come into our chaturanga by stretching our feet long, planting the pads of our feet, and then leaning back in our chair. And I'm raising my arms up above to add to the challenge, right? If we're not looking for that, you might bring them at your heart center here. If we were in an actual chaturanga, which is like it looks like a push-up, your hands would be here, elbows tucked in at your sides. So maybe you hang out there. All different ways to experience this. The further you lean back, the more the core is engaged. If the body shakes, let it shake. As long as we're not in pain, we are releasing stuck energy, and that shake can be therapeutic. But Brahmacharya says, ask, does your body want the shake? Or do you want to come use a little softness and restraint and find the true reality of what you need in this moment? Beautiful. On an inhale of your choice, we come up to Bhujanga Asana. So I sit forward, my belly comes forward, I'm arching my back and I'm sweeping my arms back. Let me show you from the side. Feet long, arching the back. I have my hands kind of gripped like this, which supports my arms a little better. You might keep your arms down by your sides. As long as we are arching that back, opening up that heart center, you might even lift your chin skyward to further open up the heart center. Here we are, Bhujangasana, Cobra, a deep heart opener. From Cobra, Bhujangasana, we find downward facing dog by stretching our arms up overhead, finding this straight alignment with the spine and then leaning everything forward into a V shape. This works the low back here. So pressing actively into the pads of your feet, deciding how far you want to dip, pressing out through those fingertips. And we look just like we're doing downward facing dog. Beautiful. From down dog, we step forward into a forward fold. So this is how it works. I lean back, plant the pads of my feet, exhale the heart center down. Beautiful. Inhale to flat back. Exhale back into the fold when you're ready, pressing through the pads of those feet. On an inhale, rise up strong. Beautiful. Exhale, samastiti. Let's move through that again and then add to our flow, taking as much or as little of this as your body is asking for, and knowing that you know best and nobody else in the whole damn world. From here, from your Tadasana, inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, fold the heart in the belly. Inhale when you're ready, rising to flat back. Exhale back down into your surrender. On an inhale, press through the feet, rise up. Beautiful. Exhale, samastiti, and I messed up, y'all. Let's do that again. And then move into the rest of our flow, huh? On an inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, fold. Inhale to that flat back. Exhale to fold. From here, we come into our chaturanga. So on an inhale, pressing through the feet, rise up, straighten those legs out, plant the pads of the feet, lean back as much or as little as the body says to. Keeping the hands where it feels good to you. If your elbows are down here, they're tucked in by your sides. Beautiful. From chaturanga, we move into our cobra. So on an inhale, arch the back, belly rolls forward, arms above the head if that feels good. Now our fingertips are pressing towards the wall behind us as our heart presses forward. Beautiful. Let's exhale when we're ready, downward facing dog. Hang out here. From downward facing dog, we'll find ourselves back in our fold. So leaning back, planting the pads of the feet. On an exhale, fold back down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. And when you're ready, press through those feet. Rise up on the inhale to Tadasana. Exhale, samastiti. All right, moving into the rest of our flow. If you have an armless chair like me, grab your set of blocks. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to take our left leg all the way out towards the left, and then we're going to scoot back. So our knee pit, I called it a knee crotch a couple classes ago. Your knee pit is firmly planted kind of on the edge of your seat. So your whole under thigh is supporting you. And then from here, we're going to find a high lunge. So this leg, our hips square with what would be the front of our mat, right? This bent knee. We're going to reach our right leg back behind us. And you might really enjoy it here. You might keep it bent here. So you decide what feels good. So here we are in high lunge. And if you don't have an armless chair like this, if you're sitting on a couch, excuse me, it's going to look like this. You're going to scoot to the edgy edge of your chair. Your right leg sweeps out. Your left leg sweeps out, and it's just the edge of your thigh and cheek that's going to be supported by that couch. So it is an added challenge. From wherever you are in your high lunge, an option to sweep the arms up overhead. And as the arms rise, let the heart rise also. Let your gaze, your drishti, your eyes look up towards those lifted fingertips. Beautiful. On an exhale, we're going to come into a fold. We're going to grab our blocks on the way if you would like it. And maybe you're like, nah, I'm just going to fold down here. And maybe you're like, yeah, blocks sound great. My belly can sometimes get in the way of my upper thigh. So I'm going to bring it to the inside of my thigh as I fold on down. From high lunge, let's find an open twist. This left foot here, you're going to plant your block on the outside of your ankle. Place your fingertips or your palms on the block. And then on an inhale, sweep that opposite arm up overhead. So we're opening up through our heart center. The heart leads this twist skyward, pressing strong into this palm of your hand or your fingertips on that block, lengthening the arms out. Our ear, sometimes that left ear wants to collapse towards that shoulder. On an exhale of your choice, close this back up on your blocks. And then let's find it closed. Closed twists suck when you have a belly, but there are wonderful ways that we can explore them with our body. So a closed twist is taking this twist across the body instead of opening it up. So planting that right hand on the block firmly. On an inhale, sweep that opposite hand skyward. And notice it's not going to go quite as far, right? A closed twist is across the body. It's squeezing all the blood out of our organs. Maybe you hold this for another breath or two, and then on an exhale, close it on up. From this high lunge, we're going to move into warrior two. So press strong through the pad of this front foot to rise up, lifting through the top of the head. This back extended leg, sweep that heel in. So now the heel and the toes are pointed towards the same direction as the front of your chair. And then sweeping the arms out wide, pressing through those fingertips. You can look over the fingertips of that bent knee. That's where your gaze, your drishti belongs here in this posture. And here we are in warrior two, opening up through the hips, breathing into the body. We're feeling strong through the pads of our feet, right? With each exhale, you might feel the weight of your body press down. With each inhale, rise up. And then on an exhale, find extended side angle, bending this left arm, planting the forearm atop of it, sweeping your right arm up overhead. So I'm going to press out through the fingertips of my right hand as I firmly lengthen and press down through the pad of my right foot. We're really just finding this length. Maybe you breathe into the right side of your rib cage here. And you send your breath there. Feel it pool under your armpit. All right, on an inhale, pressing through this front bent knee, rising back up into warrior two. We're going to find peaceful warrior. So continuing the rotation, that right palm lands back on this thigh somewhere. The fingertips of that left hand reach skyward. And we're reaching high here so that the heart lifts as well. For some reason, our heart wants to go everywhere our eyes go. And we allow and encourage that here. Beautiful. On an inhale of your choice, come back to your warrior two. Let's lift the heel of this back foot coming up onto the ball in high lunge. So now our hips, shoop, are in alignment with this front bent knee. Beautiful. From high lunge, let's come back into our seat. So what we're going to do is we're going to bend the knee of this extended leg to sweep back around in our chair. Find the opposite side, right? Scoot back. The knee pit, or whatever you'd like to refer it as, finding a little home. Maybe you keep your knee here bent. Maybe you extend it back behind you, but find those blocks, because I keep forgetting, right? Till I go to reach, and then I'm like, oh, they're not there. So from your high lunge, engaging this back leg here, pressing into the ball, straightening that knee as much or as little feels good. On an inhale, lift those arms up. Let the heart lift. Let your eyes lift as those fingertips reach skyward. This high lunge and warrior one are back bends. You can see my back is arched, just like in Cobra Bhujangasana. On an exhale, we're gonna bow down, and you might walk your hands down your thighs. You might press strong into the pad of this bent knee to help protect the low back, but finding ourselves here in this folded high lunge, let's open it up. So planting that right arm on an inhale, sweep the left arm open. Breathe. Beautiful. On an exhale, sweep it closed. Feel strong and sturdy in the pads of your feet, and then planting that left hand, sweep the right arm open. And if it feels good to you, you can do something I call widening the tracks. So this block here with your left hand, you can widen it out towards the side. And then this gives you more space in the belly and the chest to move, but it does mean more of your weight is pressing down through this left arm. So you decide what you want to do, but on an exhale, sweep it back down to neutral, this fold here. From here, we're coming up into our warrior two. So pressing through the pad of this front foot, we rise tall and strong, curl that back heel in, sweep the arms out. Warrior two, breathe. We're a 5-pointed star here, pressing out in each direction. Those fingertips pressing out keeps the arms from sinking. Pressing down through the pads of the feet ensures that with each breath in, we're rising tall through our spine. I love it. It's my 5-pointed star of power. On an exhale, find your extended side angle. Bend that right arm. Woo. Sweep it on up overhead. Pressing through the fingertips of that left hand, extending down that left leg, pressing the pad of your foot into the earth, feeling this length. On an inhale of your choice, engage through this front bent leg again, rise up tall, find your peaceful warrior. Let the heart lift with each breath in, invite expansion, invite space. Invite a release of all the BS that is not serving you. Let it all go. On an inhale of your choice, rise back up into warrior two. From here, we transition back into our high lunge, picking the heel up and turning that hip in as we do. Wonderful. From here, we're going to come back into our mountain pose. So bending this back knee as an anchor, sweeping it in. See how we found neutral. Plant the pads of the feet. Let's move through the whole salutation plus our fun extras, and then we'll cool it and calm it down. This is a lot of new work. We're going to build on it. We're going to keep learning it in our bodies. It's going to become powerful and wonderful. So finding your Tadasana, make space for all your goodies. On an inhale, sweep those arms out and up. Exhale, surrender as much or as little as you desire. Inhale, rise up, strong, flat back. Exhale, surrender. Inhale, engage the legs, rise tall, sweeping those arms out. Coming into our cobra, extending the legs long, leaning back, engaging the core. Let it shake. Take a few breaths here. Or don't let it shake, right? We find the divine reality, the ultimate reality of our needs in this moment. We explore them without judgment. We allow a willingness to get it wrong so that when we get it right, we know it. Beautiful. On an inhale of your choice, rise up into your cobra, arch the back, let the heart lift, pressing the chin skyward. Breathing into the heart, breathing into the belly, this powerful posture, opening up our whole front line, helping release those sensations, those feelings of smallness, depression, anxiety, those things that close up our front line. We powerfully open it up and release. From here, finding your downward dog, rising into that tall neutral spine, and then leaning forward as much or as little as your body says yes to. If you've got hypermobile knees and they tend to want to lock here, scoot the feet towards you a little bit. Take a micro bend. Breathe. Beautiful. From downward facing dog, rise up into your high lunge. So rising up here. We're going to sweep the left leg out towards the left. Find our high lunge. Grab those blocks. And then let's see and explore this with the breath. You ready? We're going to let it be messy. On an inhale, sweep the arms up, heart and eyes lift. As you exhale, fold as much or as little as you like. On an inhale, planting that left arm, right arm sweep skyward. Exhale, switch sides. If you need to widen the base or widen your tracks, do that. On your next inhale, lift that left arm skyward. Exhale, bring it back down. From here, we inhale, rise up. Exhale, sweep that back heel in. Inhale, sweep the arms out. Hold for a breath or two here. Breathing deep into the body. On an exhale of your choice, bending that left arm, we surrender. Inhale, sweep the arm up overhead. Here we are in extended side angle. A breath or two here. Beautiful. On an inhale, pressing through that front bent leg, we're rising up powerfully to peaceful warrior. A breath or two here. Beautiful. From peaceful warrior, on an exhale, sink back down into warrior two. We're going to lift that back heel. And then on your next inhale, sweep both arms up. Heart follows once more for this high lunge. Exhale, lower the palms to your heart center, bending this back extended knee. Shoop, switch sides, reposition yourself, take your blocks with you, let it be messy. Let's find this flow on the opposite side. So extending that left leg long or keeping it bent. Inhale, sweep the arms up when you're ready in your own time. Hang out here for just a moment, breathing deep into the belly, and then let's flow with our breath. On an exhale, surrender, bow down. Inhale, planting that right arm, sweep the left arm open for an open twist. Exhale, lower. Inhale, close the twist. Exhale, lower. Inhale, let's come straight up to warrior two, sweeping that back heel in, arms come out. Exhale, extended side angle, here we go. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, lift that heel back to high lunge. Exhale, palms at the heart center, samastiti. And then let's end our flow, shoop, by bending that extended leg, coming back to neutral. Let's find the last part of our sun salutation. So on an inhale from your Tadasana, last time sweeping those arms skyward. Exhale, we fold. Inhale when you are ready and no sooner into your flat back. And then exhale when you're ready to the last fold of the day. On an inhale, taking your time. You might even take a beat here and just let the top of your head hang heavy, relax your jaw. Forward folds are very down regulating. Maybe you're not a fan of folds. You got POTS or low blood pressure. And if that's the case, rise when you're ready. And when you are ready, pressing to the pads of the feet, lifting back up. Beautiful. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, let's take a quick Shavasana. I know it seems wild, but it is so good for us to take a moment in stillness after all this work. So scoot back in your chair. Let your spine relax. Maybe you get a blanket around your neck and you can relax your head back. Maybe you're like me and you're just going to take a gentle tuck forward, feeling the back of the neck lengthen. Maybe you find samastiti. In this Anjali Mudra, palms together, maybe instead you find your Prana Mudra. From wherever you are, let the jaw relax. Let your eyebrows unfurl. Let your shoulders soften. On your next breath in, send it deep into the base of the belly, and then exhale nice and slow. Another one just like that. Let the glutes, those butt cheeks soften. Your thighs, your calves, even your toes. The muscles on your face soften and droop as you hang out here. If the mind starts to wonder because dang, when things become still, the mind becomes busy, that's okay. We're all right there. The trick is to acknowledge that it's happening without judgment, without admonishment. Maybe you give your mind a little imaginary pat on the head, a hug, peck on the cheek, whatever relationship you have with your mind, and invite it back into the body to feel your breath in this stillness, the expansion, the release. Each time your helpful and sweet mind travels away from the body, gently bring it back. Let it witness all that's happening, even in stillness. When you're ready, you might begin to awaken your body, knowing you can take as much time and stillness as you desire. This is some of the most powerful work we do. But if you feel like wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers, go for it. You want to find some intuitive stretching, maybe some ankle circles, wrist circles. All of it is love to the body, and we give it freely. And when you feel fully awakened, knowing that it can look like whatever you want it to. This is my most favorite, is to just ridiculously stretch, because you find the best sensations when you do. And when you are ready, you might scoot back up towards the edge of your seat. You might find that Prana Mudra once more. And as we end our practice, maybe you close your eyes, maybe a gentle bow in the head, you decide. One more breath deep into the belly, the biggest stretch you've had yet today, and a nice slow exhale. Finding your natural breath once more. We end our practice holding Brahmacharya close, asking ourselves if our first initial reaction is the truth, or if, with a moment of pause, a moment of restraint, we can find our ultimate reality, the ultimate reality, and have our needs met for real. Brahmacharya asks us to look behind the curtain. So as you move through the rest of your day, the rest of your week, find your pause. Find the space to look behind the curtain and maybe consider meeting those needs instead.